I am still looking for a female co-presenter for the DCEU Daily. I'm still looking for a female co-presenter for my YouTube channel, Movies TV Mad, where I do this daily video, what I'm doing right now, the DCEU Daily. But I want to also branch out and talk about other movies and other TV shows, old and new. So if you're female, of any age, of any pronoun, of any colour, of any sexuality, I love everyone, as long as you're pure, right? And as long as you're a good person, when I mean pure, a good person, not an asshole, someone I can actually work with. I want it to be a female co-presenter because I want a little bit of diversity on the channel, and I want everyone to be able to enjoy Movies TV Mad. So I don't care about your age, your skin colour, your pronouns, your sexuality. But here's the thing. I don't have editing software. If you weren't living here in Cyprus, which is where I live, and you couldn't come to my house to co-present the show, you would have to handle the editing and the technology of it all to put me and you presenting the show together, because I don't have a fucking clue. Now, so if you are a female of any age, any pronoun, any sexuality, any colour, any nationality, whatever, you can contact me on my social media platforms, Twitter at Movies TV Mad, on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad, X on Snapchat, BMouth60, and on TikTok, Mad Mickey's World. All applications are welcome. And just to reiterate, I can't pay you. I won't pay you. I don't spend money on this platform because it's a very small platform and it's not worth investing in. Now, if we make it huge and it works out, obviously you would start to get paid. So if you're passionate, like me, about DC film and television, but films and television in general, away from DC as well, please, all applications are welcome. I want to congratulate every fellow member of the DC Snyderverse for getting the sell Snyderverse to Netflix and restore the Snyderverse hashtag trending event to trend. Yes, even James Gunn's false hype about maybe Wonder Woman being in Man of Tomorrow, and we'll discuss that a little bit later on in the show, couldn't out-trend sell Snyderverse to Netflix yesterday on November the 17th, the anniversary on one of the worst decisions ever made in Hollywood to recycle Zack Snyder's epic Justice League movie into a colourful, funny, awful, shitty CGI movie. But we're not celebrating that film yesterday. We wasn't celebrating that film yesterday. We were pushing for the restoration of the Snyderverse. And I congratulate all of you. I was sharing and retweeting and hashtagging alongside you. So remember to follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, where we have a lot of fun. But now I have to add caution. You have to really be very careful with all the rumours about who's going to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. You know, all this stuff about Saudi Arabia. And now Saudi Arabia want to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, WBD, and restore the Snyderverse. And people like Cosmic Book News are the worst offenders. He hates Snyder fans, he hates the Snyderverse, but he keeps on talking about it for clicks and likes. I don't know if the stuff he's reporting on is true or false. But right now, the Snyderverse hasn't been restored. Warner Brothers Discovery has not been sold. And again, I have to give you some caution. Warner Brothers Discovery may not be sold. They may actually integrate an investment idea. What is an investment idea instead of a full sale or a merger? And it could be a merger. An investment is very similar to what happens to the club that I love, Manchester United, the soccer club, football club, whatever you call, football, with a proper round ball, not with the egg one, right? Okay, Americans? Right. So we thought Manchester United a year or two ago was going to be sold, and we were very excited. There was rumours again about Middle Eastern interest, like there is now with WBD and Saudi Arabia. We thought, oh yeah, someone really rich was going to let us buy all the players and be the dream team we wanted. What happened was the Glazers, the actual owners of Manchester United, did an investment deal with the company Ineos. Not only did they invest, but they also were going to run the footballing side of the club. This could absolutely happen at Warner Brothers Discovery, because when all this was announced several weeks ago, you weren't really paying attention to the wording Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery were using. They were looking for, where to go next with this. They've admitted they're in debt, they need money, so they're exploring investment as well as a sale. So be very careful. It could be an investment integration that they actually go for and not a full sale. Ignore the rumours. Enjoy the fact that we're getting lots of conversations about restoring the Snyderverse. I'm happy that Zach's liking all these things, but he could be liking them randomly, right? We just don't know. So until the Snyderverse is restored, if it is restored, keep the good fight going, everyone. We exposed Gunn this summer with his awful Superman movie. But you know what? We didn't have to expose him. He exposed himself. Because James Gunn and New Hollywood are their own worst enemy. The same industry who think it's a good idea to allow male gaslighter Sabrina Carpenter to star and perform in a contemporary Alice in Wonderland movie musical. If I want to watch an Alice in Wonderland porn fucking parody, I'll go over to fucking Pornhub. Because that's all she is. A porn star who happens to fucking sing. So, congratulations again to all my fellow DC Snyderverse fans. I'm one of you. I was with you yesterday, sharing and retweeting. It was a great honour and a great pleasure to get us to trend. Now, from the DCEU, let's go to the DCU, because there was two interesting rumours yesterday. I believe it's all leaks and false hype from Gunn to try and tamper with the Restore the Snyderverse, Sell the Snyderverse hashtags yesterday, so he wouldn't trend. James Gunn failed again. Imagine the DCEU, the Snyderverse, something that doesn't exist, that's not active right now, is out trending what Gunn is doing. That's fucking insane. That's the power of how great Zack Snyder's DC movies were. But anyway, two rumours. Pierce Brosnan was quoted in saying that there are plans for a Dr. Fate to be in the next Superman movie. I assume he's talking about Man of Tomorrow. Now, this could be an old quote, by the way, when he was, because they were talking about spinning off Black Adam before Gunn came on board, so I don't know. And it doesn't look like Pierce Brosnan would be playing Dr. Fate. So that's one false hype rumour. I thought Pierce Brosnan was an outstanding Dr. Fate, by the way. But there's another rumour. Apparently a casting call has come out for a female superhero. Looks like there'll be a female superhero in Man of Tomorrow. Now, we can assume that Supergirl will already be in that movie, Kara Zor-El. And the rumour is that Wonder Woman will be in Man of Tomorrow. Now, James Gunn has already stated publicly, he's come out publicly and said they are developing a Wonder Woman movie, something that wasn't really happening originally. A Wonder Woman movie wasn't on his original slate, was it now? They had an HBO Max streaming Wonder Woman show called Paradise Lost, which would have nothing to do with Wonder Woman being there because it's a prequel. And I don't even know if that's still fucking happening. We were supposed to have gaming within the DCU. Whatever happened to the fucking gaming? I'll repeat and reiterate this again. Anyone who plugged gaming as part of the DCU of any franchise would have had a Superman game ready to go alongside Superman. For those of you saying, well, it takes years to make a game. Well, we used to have basic games for James Bond movies. We had a Superman Returns game. It wasn't great, but it was there, right? Where's the gaming? Where's the fucking gaming? Lies upon lies upon fucking lies. So apparently they are looking to cast a Wonder Woman for Man of Tomorrow. This wouldn't surprise me if Gunn introduces Wonder Woman via Man of Tomorrow, but the question still has to be asked, everyone. Will this Man of Tomorrow movie actually happen? Will Lanterns and Supergirl ever be released, or will it be shelved for a tax? Will these things be shelved as a tax write-off? In terms of Man of Tomorrow, we just don't know. Again, I don't understand how they've greenlit this movie when they're trying to sell the company. Now, I know this could take a couple of years. I get that. The AT&T sale took years and years and years. So this is what I'm saying. This is a long fucking process, and that's the problem. If we have to wait 5 years for the government to actually ratify any deal that's made, then the Snyderverse actors, Cavill, Gadot, Miller, Momoa, are not going to get any fucking younger, are they now? So there's the problem with that. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. As I say, we may not even get a fucking sale. We may get an investment. Again, I'm telling you the direct truth. This is what they're looking to do. Anything is possible. How do I feel about a new Wonder Woman being cast within the DCU? Again, Gunn bullshitted. We were under the impression that Gal Gadot would remain as Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot came out a year or so ago saying that her, Safran and Gunn were discussing the best direction to go forward with a Wonder Woman movie because they cancelled Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3. I actually agreed with that decision because the second Wonder Woman movie they made was absolutely fucking awful. Let's be honest about that. I mean, the only good things really were Pedro Pascal and Chris Pine. I thought Gal did well considering she can't fucking act her way out of a paper fucking bag, and Zack wasn't there to cover up her flaws as an actress, but at the end of the day, it was a terrible movie. So how do I feel about her being recast? Look, I don't know. This is supposed to be a reboot. This is supposed to be a fresh take, but Gunn has kept his Suicide Squad characters in place, his Peacemaker characters in place. So it's not exactly a full reboot. But if Gunn wants to cast a new Wonder Woman, it's up to him, isn't it? I'm not actually triggered too much. I think Gal Gadot is an outstanding Wonder Woman. But again, like Superman, I can understand why he would want his own actor. But the problem is, no matter who you cast, James Gunn is still James Gunn. Can we trust James Gunn to give us a great Wonder Woman? You know, David Corenswet is a great Superman. But unfortunately, he was shafted because he was written and directed by James Gunn, who doesn't have a fucking clue when it comes to Superman. Why would he have a better clue in developing Wonder Woman? And it's interesting, the female characters in Guardians of the Galaxy, he did them really quite well, if you ask me. So maybe he could get this right. It's a bit strange what he's doing at DC. When you look at someone get something so right with Guardians of the Galaxy, then when he's doing DC, he absolutely fails on every creative level. It really doesn't make sense. We really are looking at another DC mess, right? We had the DCEU, we had the Snyderverse, they drove Zack away, then they tried to make MCU movies that weren't actually connected with the DCEU. That, of course, crashed and burned and failed financially as soon as Zack left. And now they're doing this, which isn't exactly setting the DC universe alight. It's a joke. It's insane. This sums up New Hollywood. And this is why we're fighting to restore the Snyderverse, because we know Zack Snyder is a great director. But as I say, right now, nothing's been restored. Nothing's been sold. WBD haven't been sold yet. You need to calm down and stop believing all the fake hype and the fake rumours. until WBD is sold, it hasn't been sold. And until the Snyderverse has been restored, it hasn't yet been restored.